If you follow my channel, you have already seen some drift action. I'm gonna capture some more, but I'm gonna have an added feature. I'm gonna actually interview some of the drivers. All right, so what's your name?
Matt Arcieri.
How long you been drifting?
On and off for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay, if somebody wanted to start drifting, what would you recommend?
Get a car that runs, don't buy a project.
So what's your name?
Adam Chrisman.
How long you been drifting?
Probably about 4 years.
Oh wow, okay, so what are you driving today?
This is my white Mazda Miata. So stock 1.6. I'm running a standalone ECU. And just some control arms in the front with stock. It's a BC coilover suspension and just some like modded knuckles.
All right, nice. Now, if somebody wanted to get into drifting, what would you recommend as far as a car?
If someone wanted to get into drifting, I would say probably like an E36, like a reasonable BMW manual, or even like a 240 if you can find one affordable. Miatas too, but they're very snappy and they're really technical. So I would probably just say like a BMW, really.
All right, so is there anything that you wish you knew before when you started that you know now, as far as you've been drifting for about a couple of years now?
Don't give up. Definitely don't give up. Just build on seat time. You know, don't worry about what other people are thinking or like, you know, getting too wrapped up in your own thoughts about it. You know, just go out and have fun, really, because when you have fun and enjoy it, then you just get better and better at it. So I think number one rule is just have fun, really.
All right, so what's your name?
Jaron Warbacker.
How long you been drifting?
Just about 3 years, like 2.5, 3 years.
What are you driving today?
The O2 IS300.
Now, what are your recommendations as far as cars are concerned for somebody that's getting into drifting?
Getting into drifting, probably just a BMW, like an E36 or 46, because they're so cheap and just parts are cheap and
Easy to set up.
Yeah, just easy to set up, easy to work on. They have real good ratios for the diffs and gearing, so makes it a lot easier to drift.
Is there anything that you could say that you wish you knew when you first started that you know now?
I wish I had a manual IS300 from factory, not an auto, because swapping it was a real pain. But I didn't know anything then. It wasn't into drifting back then, so yeah.
All right, so what is your name?
My name is Justin.
And how long have you been drifting?
I've been street sliding for maybe like 2 years. This is my first time at the track. Super awesome.
Okay, now what makes a good drift car?
Honestly, style is almost everything, but you need the bare necessities. Manual and rear wheel drive are definitely the best to start.
All right, so now if somebody wanted to get into the game, what would you recommend?
Weld the diff and commit. You gotta have balls. You can't be afraid to send it. Beat on the car. Shit'll break, but it's part of the life. You just gotta keep going and make sure you have fun.
All right, so what's your name?
I'm Will.
And how long have you been driving drift cars?
About a year now.
Okay, so what makes a good drift car?
Good dialed suspension. You know your tire setup and you know how the car is set up. Knowing your car is key.
Now, if somebody wanted to get into drifting, what would you recommend?
I would recommend any stick shift rear wheel drive vehicle. So anything like any normal Japanese vehicle or German vehicle, a BMW of some sort, even like a Miata 240, anything like that. You know, any car that you can find that's rear wheel drive, and it's better if it's stick shift, even sometimes an automatic works. But yeah, anything that's just rear wheel drive, you know, go for it.
All right, so what is your name?
I'm Ryan Kelson.
All right, how long you been drifting?
Only like a year.
Now, if somebody wanted to get into drifting, what would you recommend?
Just getting a car, simple like this one. Get weld a diff in it, honestly, an angle kit, e-brake, and basically that's really it.
All right, what's your name?
Aiden Decimini.
All right, how long you been drifting for?
I'm gonna move up a little bit. This is basically my first event because like I went to the last one they had here and it was raining and I had tire problems, so I only got like 2 laps in. So this is kind of my first event, so yeah.
So what do you recommend to somebody that wants to start drifting as far as cars and
Don't overdo it, and like don't even try and push yourself, because like that's kind of my mistake. I was like, I'll take it easy, and then I just like went foot to the floor, tried doing some harsh shit, and it doesn't work out. I just spun out and everything. Just like keep it simple at first and just try and keep on progressing.
What's your name?
Vlad.
How long you been drifting?
For probably like 2 years.
What are you driving?
Driving an E46.
All right, what makes a really good drift car?
To be honest, it's all about the driver. You can make any car drift. Like you can look around, there's different cars. There's even pickup trucks drifting here. It's all about you finding the car, you building the car the way you like it. You can drift literally anything. Like my car doesn't have enough power, but I'm still drifting it. You can build the right drift car.
Okay, now if somebody wanted to get into drifting, what would you recommend?
Just get as cheap as possible, like even a beat up car, weld the diff, and you need to get as more seat time as possible. More seat time makes you a better drifter, that's it.
All right, so what's your name?
My name's Sean Blauser. Been drifting for the past 2 years now. I got a YouTube channel called Full Spool 717. We're out here just having a blast with the wrecking crew.
Okay, now if somebody wanted to get into the drifting game, what would you recommend?
I wouldn't recommend it. It's expensive. It's definitely fun. You got to have a lot of good friends to help you and support you along the way. If you want any kind of car though, I'd probably stick with one of the newer chassis like a 350Z or something like that, or even like a BMW E36, E46.
So what's your name?
Luis.
How long you been drifting?
Third year.
Third year. All right, cool. What are you driving today?
The white 350Z.
Okay, cool. All right, so what makes a good drift car?
So it's definitely the setup. You know, I learned that the hard way. If you don't have the right setup, meaning from suspension to tires, you're gonna fight with it. So that's definitely the advice I got and took, and it helped me a lot.
All right, great. If somebody wanted to get into drifting, what would you recommend now that you got 3 years in the game?
Oh, do it. Super fun. Super fun. Give it a shot. Ride along with someone, see if you like it, and then invest in a car.
What are your car recommendations?
So I've never been in anything else besides a Z. We both have Zs. Our other buddy has a Z as well, so I can't really say anything else, but they're cheap, they're easy to fix. I like them a lot.
All right, so what's your name?
My name's Jeremy Melton.
How long you been drifting?
I believe this is like my fourth year.
Now, what are you driving today?
I have a 2004 Pontiac GTO.
All right, now, do you have any recommendations for people that want to get into drifting?
Yeah, start cheap. Buy an E36, stay away from S chassis. They are great drift cars, but start cheap and just get seat time. Don't overbuild a car and go out there, because you're never gonna learn how to actually drive.
All right, you heard the drivers talk. Now let's get into the action behind the lifestyle. Okay, I am done If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I am out of here. Peace.